Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of Splotchmaker saying that the stereotype that fat people are obsessed with food is nonsense. It's actually thin people and people that are obsessed with diet culture that are actually obsessed with food. We're also going to be taking a look at several bonus clips from this same creator, including one where she's getting upset at Kim Kardashian for having a snatched waist. Do I sound completely ridiculous saying the term snatched waist? Yes, I do! Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
There's this stereotype that fat people are just thinking about food all the time. And let me just tell you who thinks about food all the time. It's not a body type. It's people who are trying to restrict. It's people who are obsessed with their weight.
Okay, so larger people are not thinking about food all the time. Well, how do you get larger? Is it by not eating food?
I have never met anyone that is more obsessed with food than me back when I was really thin and fat phobic.
A lot of these fat activists seem to have been thin back in the past, and there is no evidence of it today. I'm sorry.
Other people who are really thin and fat phobic, other people who are fat and fat phobic, other people who are any size and fat phobic.
So people that aren't even overweight, and in fact are opposed to people that are overweight, are actually the ones obsessed with food. Who would have thunk it? Are you hitting us with the old reversal here? You guys are overweight because you're obsessed with food. No, you. Yeah, it's really a shame because oh, me? Dang it.
First of all, it's not wrong to think about food. We need food to survive. But two, we need to stop with the stereotyping based on someone's body.
Oh, I know. The idea that somebody that's morbidly obese partakes in a lot of food is completely ridiculous. They got morbidly obese from starving? From systemic yada yada yada, I suppose?
Of like, this is all you think about, that's all your life, that's all you do. People just can't understand that I'll just be sitting doing my thing and I'll be like, damn, I really need some fruit right now. Or damn, I need a salad.
Is that what happens? Oh god. Why are we adhering to toxic diet culture by talking about eating fruit and salad? What is this whole entire video? This is a very bizarre display.
Or I need some protein. Like,
that's what you do. Okay.
They don't think that I could ever want a vegetable. They don't think I could ever be vegan. They don't think I could ever do anything in my life that isn't revolving around when can I get the next crumb.
Well, I mean, I get your point, like, oh, fat people aren't just obsessed with food, but you also have to understand the point that somebody doesn't become morbidly obese from not eating copious amounts of food. There are different levels of obesity, right? There's like casually fat, there's like, oh my god, this person has a problem. There's medically fat, where you're like, oh my god, call the doctor. So, much like the fatness spectrum, there are levels to this shit, dog. I like to call it the concern spectrum, right? Like I said, like you go from casually fat through various stages till you get to the point of, oh my god, we need to get you to the doctor. Fat. I call it the concern spectrum. The, oh my god, how bad has this gotten spectrum.
I just think, I need fruit, I need protein. I get it, and I move on with my day.
Okay. Interesting choices of food in your little hypothetical scenario there, huh?
It's truly that simple. Fat people are not gluttonous and greedy and selfish.
None of them are. Okay. Some of them didn't get to be morbidly obese by being any of those things? Okay. Well, like I started to explain a moment ago about the concern spectrum, when somebody is morbidly obese, there's no question how they got there, right? They're not like casually fat. That's what I was actually starting to go into a moment ago, and then I just trailed off. But if somebody is casually fat, they might just lack knowledge about a proper diet and whatnot. But when somebody is morbidly obese, one could probably safely assume that there's somewhat of an addiction to food going on there. and somewhat of an obsession. When somebody is morbidly obese, they are taking in copious amounts of calories to get to that size, to maintain it, and especially if they are growing and getting larger and larger with each passing year.
And obsessed with food.
Like I just said, there's different levels to this shit. Casually fat versus morbidly obese. One of these is actually fairly obsessed with food. They would have to be. Next.
At this point, Kim Kardashian needs to be banned from the Met Gala.
The way she just said gala right now was weird.
Banned from the Met Gala.
Gala. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Why?
Look at what she wore tonight.
Okay, she's looking like a straight up cartoon, right? But she needs to be banned because she wore something with this ridiculous tiny little waist.
She cannot walk or breathe correctly whatsoever. She is struggling to walk and she is struggling to breathe.
Somebody within the fat acceptance movement trying to take the piss out of somebody else for struggling to walk and struggling to breathe. Is that not ironic as hell? Aren't half the fat activists struggling to walk and struggling to breathe? Get dunked on! Get dunked on! Sorry. Isn't that ironic? Have you ever seen an episode of My 600-Pound Life? Obesity will make you struggle to breathe and walk. Okay, so she's getting upset that Kim K is wearing a very tight-waisted dress. Why is this bothering you? Why do you care?
All in the name of looking skinty.
Okay, why does it bother you if she looks skinty or whatever? What's the problem?
All over Twitter now and TikTok, I'm seeing these posts of like, oh my god, her body is tea.
Her body is tea? Dude, I can't keep up with this brain-dead slang. God, it's so dumb. It gets dumber every goddamn year. You know that? Slang doesn't need to constantly evolve until it's just gibberish and stupid as shit and doesn't make any goddamn sense. Back in my day, we used to say off the hook, and then one day it became off the chain, and now it's... God even knows what the hell it is now. I'm old. I'm so old. Jesus Christ, what's happened? Alternate title for this video, Old Man Doesn't Understand Those Damn Kids and Their Stupid Slang.
Oh my god, wet waist, snatched waist.
I understand that. Her waist did look snatched. No, I'm kidding. She looked like a cartoon. But whatever, that's her prerogative. Why are you getting butthurt about it?
Woo. It's 2024, we need to be past that.
Hold on, what was that? Did you just spring an air leak?
Snatched waist. Woo.
Woo! That's exactly what I said when I saw her. I said, her body is tea, her waist is snatched. It's very snatched indeed. I'm not old as fuck.
2024, we need to be past that, y'all. It is so fat phobic, but also just so disordered.
This isn't the first video that I've seen of hers recently where she used the phrase disordered. That's the new, like, shut down all dissent phrase.
She is breathing so shallowly in that video.
Who cares?
Her breathing is shallow. She is stumbling to walk just a few steps. It is
Dude, some morbidly obese people can't even walk up one step. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Embarrassing. We should not be praising this. We should not be validating this. We should not be normalizing this. That's
what everybody says about obesity. When they see somebody that can't walk up any stairs and is struggling to breathe. And here you are saying the exact same thing about somebody wearing a dress that's too tight. This is so ironic.
That's why I'm making this video at all. This is really toxic. This is what Kim does at Met Galas. It is not cute and trendy, it is harmful and fat phobic.
She's fat phobic for wearing a tiny little dress and having a very thin waist. Wow. Tell me that this affected you on a very personal level without telling me that this affected you on a very personal level. You're spiraling, dog. Like, you need to calm down. You're calling her fat phobic for going to the Met Gala wearing a dress that had a tight waist. That's fat phobic now. Wearing revealing clothes when you are thin. What the fuck? Dude, you've truly gone off the deep end, Splotchmaker. Seriously, this is like, this isn't even funny anymore. This is getting sad and weird, bro. Oh my god. You don't have to tell the world how bitter you are and how jealous you are of Kim K. You don't have to do it, dude. Next.
Now, can we as a collective now admit that weight loss is not primarily about health and it's primarily about appearance?
No, sometimes it's about health. And if it is just about appearance, that's also fine.
Like, let's zoom out and think of it on a social, cultural level. So many of the videos that go viral online, all the posts, just general commentary between people IRL, it's all very appearance-based. It's like, oh my god, do I look thinner? My face is less chubby, you can see less of my double chin, yada yada yada. So many things that are appearances.
Yeah, and you care about appearance just like everybody else, so I don't know what you're on about. Sorry, got a little Canadian there.
People saying, I don't care about being healthy, I don't give a fuck if Ozempic's gonna fuck me up, I just want to be thin.
Well, there you go. Now you know how important looks are to some people. To some people, looks are everything. I mean, it sucks to be that superficial, but that's their prerogative, dude. People are allowed to be however the hell they want. We can't force people to be as deep as we are. And honestly, you and other people in this movement ain't that deep either. I don't see most of you as some morbidly obese dude. Anytime you guys are talking about a hot guy, it's some dude who's all jacked.
500,000 likes, like fucking 10,000 comments. It's like, we really have to stop pretending, okay?
Nobody's pretending. Some people want to look good, and that's okay. A lot of people, though, it's about health. You know how bad it sucks being unhealthy? And mobility. Mobility is a big one. Part of health, actually. You've seen my 600-pound life before, right? I often bring up that show because it shatters all the illusions of the fat acceptance movement. Oh yeah, it's just about superficiality. That's why that guy literally needs an operation to live. Watch one episode of my 600-pound life and tell me that it's all about looks. And even if it is about looks for some people, like I've said countless times, that's fine. To pretend like you don't care about looks makes you a liar. Of course you care about looks.
We cannot ignore the reality that being smaller comes with so much social privilege and so many social benefits.
I don't know if it comes with privilege or benefits. It's just that obesity comes with limitations. I don't have privilege. You've just put limitations on yourself.
Because being fat is socially seen as not just unhealthy, take that out of it, as lazy, selfish, unmotivated, unintelligent, bad, ugly. That is a non-negligible reality, and we need to stop acting like all the hate that fat people get, people in bigger bodies get, is solely because we want them to be healthy. And the only reason we don't want to look like them, people don't want to look like me.
When somebody wants to be thin, it's not that they don't want to look like me. They don't know that you exist. What an absolute narcissist. Yeah, so I was thinking about losing some weight. Oh yeah? So you don't look like me? What? Who the hell are you?
Is because of health.
Okay, well, a lot of people do want to lose weight for their health, but if they just want to lose weight to look a certain way, that's fine too. Like I say all the time, to pretend to be virtuous when you are not virtuous doesn't make you virtuous. That makes you worse than somebody that's just honest and says, yeah, I don't give a crap. Next.
Don't eat old noodles.
Okay, I won't.
There were some leftover noodles from some delicious vegan fettuccine alfredo I had last night.
Okay.
And I was like, let me just have a few. And then I got ready for class, and I got in the car. And now I'm doing Zoom from home.
Okay. Did the noodles make you poop your pants? I'm sorry, man. Did you poop your pants a little bit? Or what's going on there?
Because the starch from the noodles caused me such immense gas pain that...
Starch from the noodles caused you immense gas pain. Okay, so you started ripping ass in the car on the way to school. It probably wasn't the pain that stopped you from continuing on to school, but the noxious odor emanating from within ourselves. I'm sorry, I keep being weird. I can't just speak normally. I gotta be all weird, man. I'm sorry.
Any movement of the car had me screeching.
What did it smell like in there? I'm sorry, man. Oh, why can't I just be normal?
So, Don't do that, even if you think it'll be fine.
Okay, well, I wasn't planning on eating vegan fettuccine alfredo.
Because everything's vegan, and you were just gonna have a tiny bit. Then you'll be sat on your bed, zooming into class, feeling so ridiculous.
And just stewing in your own odors. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Don't do it.
Okay, so to recap, she had some old fettuccine alfredo, and then whilst driving to school, started to have an explosion of sorts within the car, and it was so bad that she had to turn the car around, head home, and do Zoom class from that point forward. I hate it when that happens. The pain from the gas, not the smell at all, made her turn the car around and head on home. That was a really random little story that we just had in there for no reason. I like to keep it fun. I like to throw the random stuff in there for you. You're welcome. Don't eat stupid vegan food. Duly noted. Next. Alright, now she's going to be responding to this comment that reads, "Please go to the gym. I'm not being rude at all. I'm giving you genuine mental health advice. I spent years being 300 pounds and depressed."
I'm feeling pretty generous this morning, so I really wanted to pose kind of more of a rhetorical, self-processing question.
A self-processing question? Oh my god, the way you guys speak.
But how would it sit with you in your immediate assumptions that it's related to weight or exercise?
How would it sit with you and your immediate assumptions that nothing is related to weight and exercise? Oh, he turned it around on me. He's hitting me with the Jedi mind tricks. Oh shit.
That I was struggling more emotionally in socio-emotional everything functioning. And I was more
socio-emotional everything functioning.
More depressed and more anxious when I was thin and extremely active.
You were more depressed and anxious. Ah, gee, how about that? Picture it didn't happen.
Where do your biases come in? And why did you jump to that kind of conclusion? About movement, about size.
They said I spent years being 300 pounds and depressed, so they didn't jump to any conclusions. They were overweight, and then they started exercising and lost the weight, and it benefited their mental health greatly, the same way that it benefits every other single person that loses weight and starts exercising, every single one. There's not one person who's worse off. And I'm not saying that you can't be depressed while being thin. Obviously, there are plenty of people that are thin that experience depression.
How does it sit with you that my experience is not what you experienced? How does it sit with you that possibly your experience has been informed by the cultural anti-fatness and body hierarchies we have?
No, it hasn't been informed by any of those things. There are countless thousands of people, perhaps even millions of people, that have lost weight at this point and have shared their success stories and how much better they feel and everything. They weren't brainwashed into saying all that stuff by society or whatever.
And the unhealthy relationship that a lot of people have with movement. The way that people revolve it around numbers.
The numbers are just a metric to measure your progress. We don't go exercise just for the hell of it. We do it to get some kind of result. Typically, you're trying to build muscle or lose fat.
Instead of healthy relationship with movement. Instead of joyful movement.
It is joyful to see the results of your hard work.
Instead of helpful movement. Where does the line of thinking...
Helpful movement. Yeah, guys, I'm going to the gym to partake in some helpful movement.
Follow. Where's the trail it goes down when you sit with the fact that I've been thin and depressed, fat and depressed, thin and anxious, fat and anxious.
That's weird. I got a hell of a lot less anxious and a hell of a lot less depressed when I lost the weight. And I don't know anybody who hasn't also seen a benefit.
Both being super active, being less active, being medium active.
When I work out, I feel 100 times better than when I don't. On any given day, no matter what is going on, if I actually get a workout in that day, I feel so much damn better. Not just physically, mentally. You're like, yeah, you did it, homie. You did it. You may not have felt like doing it, but you did it anyway. You stuck to it, you pushed through, even though you didn't feel like doing it that day, so you're a badass.
Doing home exercises, going to the gym. How does that sit? Where do you go from there when you can't blame your body?
Where does that sit now that I've told you that I was thin and I still had all these problems? Well, where it sits with me is that I don't believe you. That's where it sits with me. I'm not like, oh, wait a minute. She's shattering all of my illusions about diet and exercise and what it means to be fit. Like, no, that's not happening. I'm just like, she's lying. Like, I don't believe you.
Where do you go from there when you can't blame it on its size?
Well, I guess you showed my dumb ass with your little made-up story, huh?
On its movement.
I don't know. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here as a society after learning of you being thin previously and hating it? I don't know, man. You've shattered all of my illusions. Where do I even go from here? What am I gonna do with my life? No, I'm just kidding. I don't believe any of it.
I'm just what comes up, you know?
I don't know.
Hint, hint. There are more systemic things at play. There are relational things at play.
Oh, that's where you were going with that. Oh.
Like I mentioned, if you listened, grief, grad school, state of the world. Like these are things that are not going to be changed.
State of the world. Okay, so I may as well not even lose weight because it's not going to change the state of the world. Whatever the hell that means.
Whatsoever. By whether or not I am 300 pounds and depressed.
I wasn't trying to change the whole world. I was just trying to change myself so that I'm healthier and happier.
It's not going to change based on my weight, based on other things.
I would lose weight, but what's that going to do for the endangered black rhinos of the African plains, you know? I would have lost weight, but the world was so crappy and stuff that I didn't think that losing weight would be a good contribution to the world. That's kind of weird, because I feel like doing positive things for yourself has a positive impact on the world. Taking good care of yourself is kind of like taking good care of a small fraction of the world.
You know? And there's a way to say,
I don't know.
hey, have you tried maybe movement and exercises and endorphins and all that?
Have you tried endorphins?
But there's a really strong tie-in in this comment with weight. And I'd really check in with where that comes from. And why, even when I gave you a lot of systemic and relational reasons, why you still saw a fat person who was depressed, and this was your instinct to comment this.
Because they said that they spent years being 300 pounds and depressed. So if we just read their comment, then we'll understand the words that they are trying to convey. All right, there you have it. So what do you think of the clips that we just saw? Do we need to do away with the stereotype that fat people are obsessed with food? Is Kim Kardashian's outfit at the Met Gala problematic? Is her waist a little too snatched? And should we not partake in old noodles because then we'll fart so much that we can't go to our class? Leave a comment below. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.